Let's be real, not every hunting caliber deserves a place in your rifle. While some rounds offer the power, precision, and dependability every hunter needs, others fall flat when it counts. Whether it's poor performance, punishing recoil, or just outdated design, these 5 calibers are more likely to ruin your hunt than help it. If you're serious about success in the field, do yourself a favor and steer clear of these problem rounds. From ethical concerns to frustrating performance, we're breaking down the calibers every smart hunter should avoid. So grab your gear and let's dive into the 5 worst hunting calibers you'll want to leave at home. Before we jump in, we want to be clear, this isn't about trashing anyone's favorite round. Hunting traditions run deep, and I respect that. But when we talk about ethical kills, practical field performance, and value for your hard-earned money, these 5 calibers consistently underperform compared to better alternatives. Caliber number 1, .243, Winchester. First up is the .243 Winchester. Now, we know this is going to ruffle some feathers because the .243 has been a popular entry-level deer cartridge for decades. But hear me out on why this caliber deserves a second look before you make it your go-to hunting round. The .243 Winchester was introduced in 1955 by necking down the .308 case. It gained popularity for its mild recoil and flat trajectory, making it accessible for smaller-framed hunters, women, and youth. And yes, under ideal conditions with perfect shot placement, it can certainly take down deer-sized game. But that's where the problems begin. The drawbacks. The .243. Winchester simply lacks adequate energy and bullet mass for reliable ethical kills on medium-sized game beyond shorter ranges. With typical bullet weights between 80 to 100 grains, it's dancing on the edge of what's considered ethically sufficient for deer hunting. Let's break down the math. Most ballistic experts agree that for a clean, ethical kill on deer-sized game, you want at least 1,000 foot-pounds of energy delivered to the target. A typical 100-grain .243 bullet drops below this threshold, around 300 yards. Compare that to a 130-grain .270 Winchester that maintains that energy past 500 yards, and you're looking at a significant difference in effective range. And let's talk terminal performance. With lighter bullets, the .243 can suffer from overexpansion on close shots and underpenetration at longer ranges, especially when hitting bone. This translates to wounded animals that run farther and are harder to track and recover. The alternatives. If you're attracted to the .243 for its low recoil, consider stepping up to the 6.5 Creedmoor. It offers significantly better ballistics, greater energy downrange, and superior wind performance, while still generating manageable recoil. With 140-grain bullets, the Creedmoor maintains sufficient energy for ethical deer harvests beyond 400 yards, while creating more reliable wound channels. For younger hunters or those sensitive to recoil, modern reduced recoil loads in more capable calibers like the .308 Winchester provide a better solution than compromising on the threshold of ethical performance. The bottom line, the .243. Winchester isn't a terrible caliber. It's just that with today's superior options, it represents an unnecessary compromise. Why dance on the edge of ethical performance when modern alternatives offer better ballistics, more reliable terminal performance, and only marginally more recoil? Caliber number 2, .3030 Winchester. Next up is the venerable .3030 Winchester. We can already hear the protests from traditionalists, and I get it. The 3030 has probably harvested more North American deer than any other cartridge since its introduction in 1895. It's an American classic that's been paired with iconic lever-action rifles for generations. But let's be honest about what the .3030 is and isn't in today's hunting landscape. The limitations. The .3030's ballistics are severely limited by two factors: its rimmed case design that necessitates flat or round-nosed bullets in tubular magazines, and its moderate case capacity. These constraints result in rainbow-like trajectories and rapidly diminishing energy. A typical 150-grain .3030 load drops nearly 10 inches at just 200 yards and bleeds energy quickly. By 200 yards, that bullet has already lost about 50% of its muzzle energy. This makes accurate shot placement increasingly difficult as distance increases, requiring significant holdover estimation that's difficult in field conditions. The effective range of the 3030 tops out around 150 to 175 yards for ethical kills on deer-sized game. In a world where modern hunting scenarios often involve field edges, power lines, and food plots that can easily present 200-plus yard shots, this limitation becomes significant. The tradition factor. We understand the appeal of carrying a sleek lever gun in the woods. There's something deeply satisfying about hunting with a rifle type that helps settle the frontier, but nostalgia doesn't help ensure clean kills. Modern lever-action rifles can now be chambered in far superior cartridges like .308 Winchester, .338 Marlin Express, or even .450 Bushmaster. These options maintain the traditional handling characteristics while delivering dramatically improved ballistics. The verdict: if you're exclusively hunting dense eastern woodlands where shots rarely exceed 100 yards, the .3030 can still perform adequately. But for most modern hunting scenarios, it represents an outdated compromise that limits your effective range and increases the chance of poor terminal performance. Instead, consider a modern lever gun in .308 Winchester or a short-action bolt rifle that dramatically expands your capabilities while still keeping weight and dimensions manageable for brush hunting. Caliber number 3, .300 Winchester Magnum. Now let's swing to the opposite end of the spectrum with the .300 Winchester Magnum. Unlike our previous two entries that suffer from insufficient power, the problem with the .300 Winchester Magnum for most hunters is excessive power coupled with punishing recoil that provides minimal practical benefits. Introduced in 1963, the .300 Winchester Magnum quickly gained popularity among long-range hunters and shooters for its impressive ballistics. Driving 180-grain bullets at velocities approaching 3,000 feet per second, it certainly delivers impressive numbers on paper. The overkill factor. For typical big game hunting in North America, deer, elk, even moose, the .300 Winchester Magnum represents significant overkill for most hunting situations. This excessive power comes with serious downsides. First, there's the punishing recoil. The .300 Win Mag generates approximately 28 foot-pounds of recoil energy in a typical hunting rifle, more than twice what you'll feel from a .308 Winchester. This substantial kick makes practice sessions uncomfortable and expensive, leading many hunters to avoid adequate preparation with their hunting rifle. When you're not comfortable with your rifle's recoil, you're more likely to develop a flinch, that unconscious anticipation of recoil that pulls shots off target. We've seen countless hunters who can shoot 1-inch groups with their .308 struggle to keep shots within 4 inches using their .300 Win Mag. That level of inaccuracy completely negates any theoretical ballistic advantage. Practical limitations. The .300 Winchester Magnum burns through approximately 75 grains of powder per shot, creating substantial muzzle blast, barrel heating issues, and accelerated throat erosion. This translates to a barrel life roughly half that of more moderate cartridges like the .308 Winchester or .306 Springfield. Add in the fact that ammunition costs nearly twice as much as more common calibers, and you're looking at significant downsides for marginal real-world benefits. The better alternatives. For 95% of North American hunting scenarios, the .308 Winchester or .306 Springfield provide all the power and range needed without the drawbacks. Both can ethically harvest elk beyond 300 yards and offer dramatically lower recoil, making practice sessions more productive and enjoyable. If you're serious about extended range hunting, the 6.5 PRC or 7mm Remington Magnum provide excellent ballistic performance with significantly less recoil than the 300 Win Mag. Modern bullet designs in these calibers deliver reliable expansion and energy transfer at distances well beyond what most hunters should attempt ethically. Unless you're regularly hunting large, dangerous game at extended ranges in open country, the 300 Winchester Magnum represents unnecessary punishment for both you and your wallet. The practical hunting benefits rarely outweigh the significant drawbacks of recoil, expense, and barrel wear. Caliber number 4, .270 Weatherby Magnum. The .270 Weatherby Magnum represents a specialized cartridge that, despite impressive ballistics, falls into a problematic niche that makes it a poor choice for most hunters. Developed by Roy Weatherby in 1943, this Magnum cartridge pushes 130 grain bullets to velocities approaching 3,400 feet per second, significantly faster than the standard .270 Winchester. On paper, it delivers an impressively flat trajectory and high energy. The problem of specialization. The primary issue with the .270 Weatherby Magnum is that it occupies an awkward middle ground. It's significantly more powerful than needed for deer-sized game, while lacking the bullet diameter and sectional density preferred for larger game like elk and moose. This no-man's-land positioning is compounded by several practical issues. First, ammunition availability. While standard calibers like .308, .306, or even regular .270 Winchester can be found on shelves virtually anywhere hunting supplies are sold, the .270 Weatherby Magnum remains a specialty item. During ammunition shortages, you might find yourself unable to hunt at all. Then there's the cost factor. Weatherby ammunition typically costs 50 to 100% more than standard calibers, making practice sessions prohibitively expensive. Factory loads often run $60 to $80 per box of 20, more than double what you'd pay for mainstream calibers. Practical field issues. The high-velocity nature of the cartridge creates excessive barrel heat and accelerated throat erosion. Most .270 Weatherby barrels show significant accuracy degradation after 1,000 to 1,500 rounds, a fraction of what you'd expect from more moderate cartridges. Its belted Magnum case design, while innovative when introduced, is now recognized as unnecessary for achieving high pressures and velocities. Modern case designs with sharp shoulders actually provide better head spacing and potentially superior accuracy. Better options. Available. For deer-sized game, the standard .270 Winchester delivers all the necessary performance with less recoil, less expense, and better ammunition availability. For larger game where more power is beneficial, cartridges like the 7mm Remington Magnum or 300 WSM provide superior terminal performance with similar recoil. If you're drawn to the Weatherby name and performance, the newer 6.5 Weatherby RPM represents a more modern, efficient design with superior ballistic coefficients and sectional density compared to the .270 projectiles. The final analysis. The .270 Weatherby Magnum is a solution looking for a problem. Its impressive velocity comes with a host of practical drawbacks, while delivering minimal real-world advantages over more common, less expensive options. For the average hunter, The standard .270 Winchester provides nearly identical field performance at substantially lower cost and with far better ammunition availability. Caliber number 5, .4, 570 Government. Our final entry might be the most controversial, the legendary 4570 Government. Developed in 1873 for military use, this cartridge has enjoyed a resurgence in popularity among hunters seeking a connection to America's frontier past. While we respect its historical significance, its limitations make it a problematic choice for modern hunters. The nostalgia tax. Let's get right to it. The .4570 Government is a severely range-limited cartridge that forces you to pay what I call a nostalgia tax, accepting dramatically reduced capabilities in exchange for historical connection. With its rainbow-like trajectory and low velocity, the effective range of the 4570 is limited to about 150 yards for ethical hunting, similar to the 3030 Winchester, but with significantly more recoil. A typical 300 grain load drops nearly 20 inches at just 200 yards, making accurate shot placement extremely challenging beyond close range. This severe drop requires precise range estimation and significant holdover calculations, difficult tasks under field conditions when adrenaline is flowing and game might only present a brief opportunity. Terminal performance concerns. While the large diameter bullets deliver substantial energy at close range, the relatively slow velocities, typically around 1,800 to 2,000 feet per second, can cause expansion issues with modern bullet designs that were engineered for higher impact velocities. Traditional lead bullets can perform well, but are increasingly restricted in many hunting areas due to environmental concerns. This forces hunters toward copper monolithic bullets, which generally require higher impact velocities for reliable expansion than the 4570 can deliver at even moderate ranges. Modern alternatives. For hunters drawn to big-bore lever guns, modern alternatives like the 450 Bushmaster, 444 Marlin, or 350 Legend deliver superior ballistics with flatter trajectories while maintaining the traditional handling characteristics that make lever actions appealing. These modern cartridges offer significant advantages in trajectory, effective range, and terminal performance while generating similar or less recoil than the 4570 Government. The exception. There is one scenario where the .4570 still shines. Dangerous game at close range and heavy brush. The large, heavy bullets buck wind and brush better than smaller, faster projectiles. For bare defense in dense cover or similar specialized applications, the 4570 loaded with modern heavy bullets remains a legitimate option. The final verdict. Unless you're hunting dangerous game at close range or are willing to accept significant limitations for the sake of tradition, the 4570 Government represents an unnecessary compromise in today's hunting landscape. Its rainbow trajectory, limited range, and heavy recoil make it a poor choice for most modern hunting scenarios compared to widely available alternatives. So there you have it, 5 hunting calibers that, despite their popularity or historical significance, present unnecessary compromises for today's hunters. Let's recap. The .243 Winchester, inadequate energy and bullet mass for ethical kills beyond moderate ranges. The .3030 Winchester, severely limited trajectory and range due to outdated case design. The .300 Winchester Magnum, excessive recoil and cost that hinders accuracy for minimal practical gains. The .270 WEATHERBY MAGNUM, specialized niche cartridge with availability issues and high costs. The 4570 Government, extreme rainbow trajectory and limited range with heavy recoil. Now, we're not saying you can't be successful with these calibers. Hunters have been using them for decades, and with perfect shot placement under the right conditions, they'll certainly get the job done. But hunting is challenging enough without handicapping yourself with suboptimal tools. With today's superior options providing better ballistics, more reliable terminal performance, and often at lower cost, why limit your capabilities in the field? Instead, consider versatile, proven alternatives like the 6.5 Creedmoor, .308 Winchester, or 7mm Remington Magnum. These calibers offer excellent ballistics, manageable recoil, and terminal performance that ensures ethical harvests across a wide range of conditions. The best hunting caliber is ultimately the one you can shoot accurately and confidently. But that confidence should be built on a foundation of capabilities that match your hunting environment and game, not nostalgia or outdated conventional wisdom. What's your take? Do you agree with our list? Drop a comment below with your thoughts and experiences. And if you found this information helpful, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Until next time, shoot straight and hunt ethically.